Hello and welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to look at this Blue Point ratcheting spanner. It's a reversible with an open end that side. As you can see there, it says 18mm and then you got Blue Point 18mm. Blue Point is a Snap-on brand. It's like a lower tier than Snap-on, so they're not as expensive. Still very good quality tools. Don't believe they're made in America, as unlike the Snap-on, which is. This one definitely isn't made in America because it actually has Taiwan written on it. This side you can see, again 18mm, it says BOERM, which is 18, which is the code for this particular tool. Here, if you can just make out, it says, if you can get it to focus, it says Taiwan just there, so it's made in Taiwan, and there's a little number 3 just there. Apparently the 3 means that it's made in 2013. I would have said it was an older one, but that's what it says online. It says 2013 is the 3. It's got an offset head. Now what's different about this compared to a lot of others is this is an old Draper Expert, which is actually made by Gear Wrench. It says on the back Gear Wrench, and this is a 40mm, but it's again a reversible. Now you'll notice this has a cutout here and this one doesn't. So on this one, to get this section out, you look at, there's a thin side and a thick side, so it's going to go out, you have to push it out that way. Now what you have to do is, I believe, is slide very thin pieces of metal down inside there, something as thin as a razor blade, and it will push the retaining clip in, and then you can push that out. Not sure how this is held in. I'm assuming it will come out. It's probably got a little end on it on the peg to stop it coming out while this is together. Once this is out, I'd imagine this just comes out. So these are completely serviceable, which is really good for a higher end tool. You can take it apart if it's getting a bit dirty, a bit gritty inside, if you've used it maybe somewhere dusty and it's not sounding so great and you don't want to get it all worn. You can basically push this little clip here over. Whoops, there you go. Came out a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. So you push that clip over till it's squeezed together and then it pops out. This is a kind of washer which has a groove in it, which is what that spring fits into, and then you have the mechanism there. What I tend to do is just put that in the middle first. Oh, there you go, and that should just drop out. So this is made very similar to a ratchet handle, other than a ratchet handle is obviously solid and it has a quick release button and an anvil, but it's made basically the same way. It's just got the teeth all around there, probably 72. This is a 12-point socket size, 18, and in there you've got 2 pawls, one that side, and I'm trying to show it there, and there you go, one that side. So you've got two pawls, and what happens is, I won't move this switch at the moment when there's no force on them, because sometimes they can just pop out. There is actually a spring between them. Come on, focus. There's a spring between them just down there, and they're held in under tension. So if you move this, there's a chance that they're going to pop out. So basically you can give it a good clean, get all the grit out of it, all the dust. It's quite clean inside, quite shiny. You can give it a clean with, say, brake cleaner or something like that. Clean all this out, get it nice and shiny again. Add a little bit of grease if you want, just a tiny bit, you don't need a lot. So to rebuild it, just make sure the pawls aren't showing, because what happens is when you flick that switch, one will stick up and one goes down, and then the opposite when you're going. Just make sure it's in the center so they're both flat, and then that should just drop back in there. As you can see, this is the tricky bit. So pop the ring inside there. You should be able to see on this that it's worn on this side, so this is the side that's going to go against the inner workings there. So pop that in there, hold it together, and then if you're lucky you should be able to feed it straight in. One's gone in, there you go, two in, so it goes back in there. What I tend to do is just push that over so that these are both roughly the same, and that's it. So it ratchets both ways because it's in the center, so flick it over one side, ratchet one way and locks, and then flick it that way and it locks. So if you want to service this part of it, this one's held in with a T10. The paint's worn off this, I'm assuming it's copper coated underneath to stop it corroding. So keep your finger on this, because what you'll find sometimes is there's a spring behind there, because there's probably a ball bearing as well. There'll be a spring and you don't want the spring to ping out, so take out your screw and then you can lift that off. There you go. So this is the other end of the pawl. I'm not sure if you can see that there, but there is a spring. No, you can't. Yeah, there you go. There's a spring just between them, keeps the tension on them, and these little notches on the pawls will sit in this part here, and as you turn the switch it pushes one of those up and one of those down, so it reverses it. There's two little indents there as well. You can see the line where it's worn between, so that's where the ball bearing locks the switch into whatever position. There's your ball bearing. There should be, there you go, there's a spring. So you've got a little spring there. So again, you can clean this all out. Bit of brake cleaner, maybe even put it in ultrasonic, I'm not sure. And a little bit of grease and put it back together. So when you put it back together, what you want is those two notches need to fit back into there. So you can sort of feel them click. There we go. Like that. And then pop your screw back in. Try and keep it as flat as possible, so your screw doesn't go in at an angle. If you're getting any resistance early on, don't carry on screwing, because you'll damage it. And that's it. Your switch is back to normal. So if you do this too tight, it will actually tighten up the switch too much and you won't be able to move it, but that's fine. So there you go. You can take it apart, give it a good clean out, a bit of grease, and it's as good as new again. Let me know what you think. Have you ever done that yourself? Do you ever service your own tools? Keep them running longer, keep them performing better? Let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.